Hey, we're back at the pit once again, and today we're doing another refresher course like we did with the last video we made with the brats. This is another refresher course, only this time it's a little bit better. Steaks. Come on over to Frankencart over here, we'll show you what we're going to do. Now, I don't remember exactly which cuts we have. We buy them when they're on sale, we cryogenically seal them, put them in the freezer until we need them, and today is the day we're going to need them. These almost look like a porterhouse type cut, but I don't know. There is a bone in, for whatever that's worth. Don't know what these are. They're not ribeyes, but I'm not sure. These look like they're cut out of a round steak. But we're going to treat them all relatively the same. But before we get started on all of that, big shout out to Cooley Cards and Gaming and Gamer Sanctum for being sponsors of the channel. Check them all out on the social medias. They'll take care of you. Let them know we sent you, and you'll be treated right. So here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to use a white pepper, and we're going to keep this relatively simple. You guys remember when we did videos called Keep It Simple Stupid? Well, since I'm stupid, I gotta keep it simple. We got a white pepper. We're gonna pepper both sides. Ooh, that's a lot of pepper. Just a dash. I have a little trouble getting the juice to flow out of these. There we go. Now we're in business. And we're gonna do both sides again with everything that we've got. We're also gonna use, this is actually garlic salt, which I'm not normally gonna use garlic salt. But since we do want to put a little salt on steaks, and we do like garlic, we're going to use garlic salt, kind of get two birds stoned at once. Do two things at the same time. So we want to do both sides. Now these steaks have been sitting out there relatively close to room temperature. They're probably in the 60-degree range, which is great. And we're going to want to let these sit for maybe 10 or 15 minutes to sweat a little bit with that salt on there, just to get some flavor down penetrated inside the meat and taking care of the business. Now again, there's nothing too complicated about cooking steaks. As long as you take your time, be patient, do all the things you need to do, you'll do just fine with your steaks. Now, one thing we also did find when we were trimming these steaks, that almost looks like filet, but I'm not sure. We had a couple pieces that were surrounded by some of the hard fat. Well, these are great for the grill master, because you get sampling pieces. Always a good thing to have when you're cooking. We're going to treat all these steaks relatively the same no matter what cuts they are. Usually if you use these kind of methods, you're going to come out pretty happy with what you got. And the garlic salt, a little salt. Now you can go and do all the extra seasonings, use Worcestershire sauce if you want some of that on there, that's fine. Me personally, when it comes to doing steaks, I generally like to have my seasonings relatively simple because I want the meat flavor to come out. Since we're going to be running these on the grill, you also get a little bit of that smoke flavor to come out. So you really don't need much else. In fact, garlic is probably pushing the limits to basic steak cooking. I just like garlic. I think just about everybody around here does anyway. I haven't had any complaints yet. There we are, a little bit of that white pepper. Now you can use fresh ground pepper if you want. This is what I had in the shed, so this is what we're using. I have a grinder in the house. I'm just too dang lazy to go get it. Go get it. 2. And on to plate number 3. Now this one's a little crowded, so we're gonna borrow some space over here. Space is the final frontier. Anyway, give a little bit of space so we can get these done properly, and then we're going to let them sit while we talk about a few other things before we get started on the cooking. Man, this ground pepper is just woo with the wind today. It's very breezy, so I do apologize. If there's any wind noise, please bear with us on that. There we are. Look at them steaks, yeah. Kids, look at these steaks. A little bit more on these, and then we'll put our pepper on, and then we'll go over and talk about the fire for a minute. We're also going to talk about our side dish. Now, if you watch the brat video we did literally yesterday, when, well, this probably come out a couple days after, but whatever. We're doing potatoes again, the little potatoes, and we like those little potatoes because they're relatively easy to cook. They don't take a long time. We put them in with the butter. We put them in with the garlic, the this time, instead of using our local seasoning, we are using the rosemary that came with them. So let's come on over here to the grill real quick. I want to show you. You can see we've also got leftovers that we trimmed off. And these, if you guys have watched any of our videos in the past, you know what we do with leftovers, right? They go to the dogs. We got 3 dogs to give now. We got our mascot Scooby. We've also got Lulu and Ruby, and you've seen them in the videos before too. So we're gonna have those for the dogs. They get a little treat tonight, just like us. So that should be pretty much done. We'll let that sit over there. This is our potatoes going, like we always do, and we're gonna rotate that as we go along. We've got our fire concentrated to about this much area. And we're going to do a couple different things today. 2 different methods of cooking steak that I like. We'll probably do 2 of each or half of each. See where we end up. These are the ones that look like they're cut out of round steak. We're going to do a reverse sear on these. 2 of them are going to go over here away from the fire just to get them warmed up. Things like that. I don't think I'm going to do the porterhouse that way just because I'm not going to have enough space. We'll do a couple of these other ones. Especially this one being as it's really thick like that. That's almost 2 inches thick. We'll put that one off the flame, and we'll put that one off the flame. Now, the 2 methods, again, like we're using, one is to sear and then push aside to let it get the temperature. I'm usually like a 125 guy for my personal liking. Today we're going to go to 135, kind of get more to the medium range. If you're not sure, again, those little bites that we got off to the side, they're really going to help you out because you can use them as a taste test and judge how done your steaks are. So we're going to let that go for a little bit. Come on back and see us in just a few minutes and we'll continue on with Steak 101. Right, so we got the pan out of the way, got that all dried and clean and ready to go from the dog's stuff. And then we've got our potatoes turned around. You can see these have been on here, a good 5-10 minutes. They're starting to get color, but they're not getting crazy done. Because you guys know what happens if you try to cook a steak over the open heat the whole time. It gets charred on the outside and raw in the middle. But we don't want that. So we're going to start by doing the other steaks in the opposite direction, sear, and then put to the side and let them stay warm. I'm going to start with these thicker ones. These look like they're going to take the longest. So we're going to put them directly over the heat. I don't know what temperature it's running at. Hot. There's our little pieces. We're going to hang on to those for just a few more minutes. My general rule of thumb, what I like to do, and I'll watch them to see how they're going. The fire isn't probably quite as hot as it should be, mostly because of the wind. It's a beautiful day. It's like 60 degrees out, but it's very windy, so it makes it a little bit difficult to deal with. We're going to give them about 90 seconds, turn them another 90 seconds, flip them, and do the same thing on the other side. And then we'll move those over to the warm zone, or the off the heat, if you will. And then let those continue to cook, try to get to that internal temperature of 135 degrees, give or take. Sounds good? Sounds good. I don't know how far in we are. Wasn't paying attention to how long it takes? Doesn't matter. Yeah, they're sticky. I went through and did a very thorough cleaning on my grills this spring, so we'd have to be ready for another season. And they're not oiled and seasoned like they should be. So the steaks are sticking. Now we do that 90-degree turn on those to try to give you that cute cross hashing like you see in the places you do this to get a steak. You also pay $40 a plate. Somebody's car is lonely. It's yelling for friends! Friends, where are you? Alright, well, I got a friend now. That's good. We're going to get those going, and then we'll just move on to the ribeyes and the porterhouse and see where we go from there. How we do. Yeah, it needs a little bit longer on that turn yet. I like to make them hash marks so they look so fancy. You can see they're coming in. Again, these are a little bit thicker, so they're going to take a little bit longer to do on the warming side of things, so we'll do them first. Just like this one. I've got this one closest to the heat because it's the thickest. Logic. A new concept. Alright, let's see what we got. There's our cross hatching, looking pretty good. You get a look at that, you can see that nice X's on there. Makes everybody happy and think they're getting yeah, exactly, one of those. And again, probably another 2.5 minutes, somewhere in that area. Maybe even 3 minutes on that side. You can see over here, you can see where the color is changing. I know you can't see it. You can see the color has changed on the outside of the steak, but the inside's still very red. Here, take a look at that. I'm going to show you. There, you can see that color changing, but very, very red on the other side and in the middle. So we know they're going to take longer than a few minutes on each side to cook. So you don't want to do sear, chew. As it just knock the moo out of the steak and then eat it. We don't do that. Yeah, those are coming along really nice. It's almost like smoking a steak, if you will. They're always hard to keep lit. That one looks like Michigan. I'm on steak, so that's giggity. I wish I'd have put a little more charcoal in there. They're going well, but the wind is blowing so much of the heat off that maybe that's what we should do. That's why it's windy. The leaf blower is going next door. Hey, gotta love it. Springtime at its finest. Alright, let's turn them. See what they look like first. Now they're getting there. Okay, turn. And turn. Give them another minute or so. Then we'll throw them ribeyes or whatever those round eye ones are. I can't figure it out. It'll be alright. Whatever they are, we're going to cook them next. Now, one problem I do run into when I'm cooking this many steaks, normally I don't do that because there's only 4 of us here to eat them. But we've got 1, 2, I can't count that high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 steaks. Under normal circumstances, I'm not going to make that many unless I'm feeding a large crowd, and then I would have another grill out here to do that. So we are running into a space constraint. If I was making 4 steaks, this would be a no-brainer. It's a little bit tougher when I'm doing this many because I got the grill out. It takes a lot out of me to do this, so I wanted to do everything at once. Oh, look at that, coming along. Very nice, I like. Heck yeah, look at that. You can see along that edge again, you can see it's still pretty red, but you can see the color starting to come into it there. So we're getting close to getting those off, and then we'll put the next round on. We'll just move these over to the middle there, get them away from the fire a little bit. In fact, I think we'll do that now. Get those over there. They're still going to cook pretty good there because they're still fairly close to the fire, but it won't be too bad. These won't take nearly as long on the warming side because they're a lot thinner cuts. So we're going to once again put them on the direct heat. Give them 90 seconds, whatever. I know if you guys are watching the timer, you're like, dude, that only took like 40 seconds. You're probably right. I'm impatient and I don't have a watch on. So I don't know what time it is. Use your best judgment. If you're not doing this for camera, you can use your best judgment. If you're more patient than me, take your time and do it the proper way. Do what I say, not what I do. Is that how that works?
I don't know.
Stammer Fab helping out today. He helped me get all this stuff prepared, and I really appreciate him. He takes good care of me. He's a great extra pair of hands for me to help me do things like put the pool together. We got the pool coming up for the littles to use. We had it over there the other day. It wasn't working out. Moved it over there. Should be a lot better. All right, let's see. Yeah, getting there. Get that nice color in there. Now when I did trim these steaks, I tried to remove as much of the hard fat as I could without destroying the shape of the steak per se. Some of it we couldn't remove because it was right in the middle. That's okay. That leaves the flavor in there. It leaves a little bit of the juice in there. When that fat renders, it's going to get in there and keep your steak nice and juicy without losing flavor too. All right. I don't think those are a true porterhouse. They're pretty thin to be a porterhouse. Usually a big steak, but they're cut like a porterhouse. We'll see. All right, I'm going to stack these up to make some more room over here on the cool side. Stack some of these up because they're coming along pretty good. Get these over here in the cooler spot. Now normally, once again, if I wasn't filming, I'd be putting the lid back on every time. It's a lot of putting the lid on, taking it off, especially during the camera time. All right, let me grab the other plates and get these next down done. Don't those look like they're cut like a porterhouse with that big bone in them, but they're not thick. They're only half to 5/8 of an inch thick. So usually a porterhouse is a good inch, inch and a half. I don't know. I forget what it was on the wrappers. They said we took them out, put them in our sealer so they'd stay safe in the freezer for a while. They've been in there for a while. All right, let's see what we got. Look at that. You can still see a lot of the seasoning on there, looking pretty good. Not quite as deep a hash marks as I want, but it'll be all right. They'll taste great. While we're at it, what the heck? Let's throw our special bites on. These are for the pitmaster.
And assistant.
Well, you're a pitmaster. You're out here cooking, right? That makes you a pitmaster. You're good. Assistant, nothing. You're cooking just as much as I am. You're just helping hold the camera instead of being in front of it and being a clown like I am. I like to have fun.
I'm a clown. I'm just, behind the camera clown.
In peanut gallery.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's great. I love this kid. He's awesome. Now, one other thing I'm going to do is because of the thickness of this one and this one, I'm going to move them in a little closer to the fire, not so much for the searing part of it, but just to get the temperature to come up a little faster so they get done a little quicker. 'Cause we're hungry. We want to eat. Also why I'm not patient. Yeah, that fire should definitely be hotter. But we'll be all right. Now, one of the other things that we've done in the past at some of the steaks that we've cooked, and a lot of people do it, and you see them on the fancy shows where they're spooning the butter on and doing it in a frying pan and blah, blah. That's a lot of work. And to be honest with you, if you cook a steak properly and you have a good cut of meat, like our place in town here does a pretty good job of giving us good quality meat, you probably don't even need any of that. Will it be a little juicier? Sure. But again, if you cook it right, you shouldn't have to worry about it. Get those guys closer yet, just to get them heated up. We'll take a look at one of these first ones that we did. When we get the last ones in the cool zone, we'll show you what those look like. Let's see what we got going on here. A little bit of hashing going on, not too bad. They look pretty good. Yeah. All right, we'll slide them over to the back. And we'll get our last two on. I think I might do these one at a time because of their size. Now again, this one has the bone in, and you can see there's a lot more fat in there. Most of the hard fat I got out, but you can see there's still quite a bit in there. Without destroying a steak or turning it into stir fry, you kind of got to deal with it. Most of us don't like the big fatty gristle things. Some people do, and if you like them, leave them in by all means. It's just not our personal preference. I gotta get another plate while I'm at it over here. Where are my plates? There they are. We'll get a couple more plates. Now, while we've got a minute, gang, I want to remind you to please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and that you hit the bell notification in the all position, because again, it's mid-May. We're going to be having a lot more cooking videos out, as well as our live streams and our other videos that we do. But if you enjoy the cooking videos the most, please make sure that all is hit, because in 2 days from now, which I'm not sure, it probably won't come out until the end of the week, we're going to have a really special video for you guys. We're going to be doing 3 cooks at once out of the same piece of meat. That's all I'm going to tell you. Coming along nice, aren't they? Now, these are the ones that we've already seared. They're just staying on there to be warm. Probably should check our taters while we're at it. Not burning my hand. That'd probably be a good idea. Again, these are the same thing we did in the last video. Just we had a rosemary pack that came with them. So we let rosemary do the flavoring. Ah, yes, very nice. Potatoes are coming along nicely. They're about 10-15 minutes from done, give or take. But they're cooking nice. Now, get them. All right, rotate. There isn't much to talk about, so I'm kind of boring right now. I'm trying to do the best I can to give you guys something to listen to, except for the sizzle of the meat and the wind and the traffic. We're doing the best we can. All right, here's our bites. Oh, those are coming along. Those are coming along. Those are the special pieces for us. I'm going to save the big one for Stammer Fam. See if I can get his mom out here to try one. Now you can see these big thick ones that we put on early, we moved them closer and they're already starting to take color. Now I'm going to flip those more than a couple of times because of their thickness. I want to try to keep them even cooking without turning them into charcoal, even though we need more charcoal. Looks like it's going to try to ring. All right, let's see what this guy's doing. I just flipped this. Oh yeah, getting there though. Getting there. Ooh. All right. The other nice thing is when you do leave some of that fat in there, you do get some of that drippings, you know, like when you're making a burger or a brat and the juices start falling out. Gives you a little flaring up. Adds extra flavor to your meat. Just don't burn it. We had that happen once. If you've ever seen a portable grill, a Coleman Grill to Go, I believe they called it. I had that many years ago. And I was cooking brats on it out here one day, and I got them in the beer, and I went to do something else, and I came back, and there was flames as tall as my shed behind me, jumping out of that thing when the fuel regulator failed, and it was running wide open out of the bottle. And I got it shut down, and got the fire out and everything like that. Nothing was hurt, nobody got hurt or anything. The problem was it melted the aluminum plates that I had for grills. It just destroyed them. So I called the company. I said, well, I don't know what happened, you know, and this and that. They said, well, mail it back to us. It cost me like $50 to mail it. Uh-oh. Excuse me a minute. Okay. So I spent $50 to ship it back to them, but they told me, nope, you're absolutely right. This was a failure of the flow regulator, and they sent me a brand new grill. Coleman took good care of me. So shout out to them. You won't have that so much on a charcoal grill, because there's no flow regulator. But, you know, keep an eye on your things, because sometimes stuff happens. Oh, those are coming along really nice. Now, he's getting a little bit dirty, so I got to probably clean the grill today. You notice that we don't have the hash marks per se, but we also do have the bone that it's resting on, instead of being directly on the grates. So we're going to get a little less lines, just a little more color. All right, turn that one again. Yeah, that was 30 seconds again. I said I'm impatient. That's all right. These are thick enough, I think I can stand them up on end. Sure can. A little help from his friend there. Try to get it evenly done as we can. That one's going to be tough. This one's still going to be a little bit difficult too. We'll see what happens. Yep, she needs more color. Almost looks like a pork chop, but I know it isn't. I know it's beef. Very strange. Well, we've got about 30 seconds, so I'm going to grab one of these and bring it over here and set it down. Normally when I serve steaks, I like to let them rest for, you know, sort of 5-10 minutes. Gives an opportunity for the fats to render. The temperature will equalize a little bit where it's not 170 on the outside, 120 in the middle. That sort of thing. We like to give them a few minutes to rest. Sometimes I don't have that opportunity because I'm, once again, too impatient. That's not too bad. All right, we'll put him over there. We'll get started with the last one that we've got to sear from the sear first. And then we'll do that there. Well, let me throw the lid on. We're going to go over here and check this one out and see what we're doing so far. Come on over to Franklin Cart again. This is one of our test bites. You can see how quickly that cooked. That was on in, what, maybe 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Go for it. Not bad. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. All right. Back to the fun. I have to pull these off too. Let's save that big one for you though. But we'll show it. I've actually gone as far as to take a thicker, smaller steak like this and trim a little bit off as I go along, and as it cooks, I can tell when it's done, and then I know that it's time to pull the rest of them off for everybody else. And by the time I'm done, I've eaten all the evidence, so nobody knows. what's going on with you there? There we go. Okay. We'll get them guys in there, get them heated up real good. About another 30 seconds on that one and we'll flip it. And we've got these 3 left here that we've still got to sear. So we'll be able to, once we get those pulled out, we can move these guys to the back, keep them warm on here while we're searing the last 3. And then I'll probably take them all and put them over there and get the potatoes finished off over the direct heat. So why don't you guys come on back in a minute? Well, there'll be a second for you guys, but come back and we'll show you what things look like once all the steaks are done and over to the warm. So we've got the last 3 on the searing spot. We've got a little time to kill. Again, I pulled one of these off because they're a thinner one. And I normally like to let them sit like 5-10 minutes, like I said. But we're going to just show you what these look like on the inside. You can actually see that that's medium well, probably, which is a little more done than what I like, and that's perfectly okay. Because when we did the taste testing of the small pieces, Stammer Fev said, yeah, they're medium well, and they're juicy, as you can see on the table. And they taste phenomenal. Go ahead. He's a great piece of meat.
Dry.
Nope.
Oh.
The old man knows how to cook a little bit. Just a little bit. So I'm going to pull that other one off so we can start letting these rest. And then we'll get back over to the grill and we'll show you what's going on over there. And we'll save all this because the dogs can always get the trimmings and whatever later on. Come on back over here. Let's take a look. Put the lid on for about a minute, so these should be ready to turn, and they are. They look fantastic. Now remember, these are the ones that we put on here more so to warm up first, kind of smoking them, if you will. And if I had to put num wood in, they'd have even more flavor, but we didn't do that. This one's going to be done because it looks just like the other one. Peekaboo! There you go. Now, these are the ones that we seared first and have been sitting over here kind of just chilling, doing their thing. Let's try one of these. Let's just see what we got for a cook on those. I got a feeling they're going to be at least medium, which is probably 135 to 140. Again, normally I let them sit for a few minutes. Well, that's almost medium rare. Yeah, that's not bad. Probably medium to medium rare. Good news is when you run the camera, you get to taste test everything. Go ahead, man. Just like it should be. I like it. I lost my gloves, so I got to play Michael Jackson.
Moment of silence.
That's all right. Don't worry about that. I think we're full enough anyway. I'll turn it off in a minute. We'll be right back. We got to go turn the water off for the pool. All right, so you can see we've got the third motorcycle going by with loud exhaust. The third turn on these guys, they're pretty good. These are looking great. I'm going to probably cut one of each of these just to show you how they're done. They got another 30 seconds before we turn them one more time. We're going to check our potatoes, and they're looking phenomenal. Yep, they smell like they're just about done. You can smell the rosemary coming out of there. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. So let's take this one. Now, Miss Kathy said she likes this one, so this one's going to go on a special plate. You know what? Let's let it sit for a minute. Sorry to keep you coming back and forth here. I apologize. We're going to let that one sit for just a few minutes. We do it like we normally would do it, and we'll show you exactly how it's done, right or wrong, okay? So these got another, well, we got one more flip on them. Let's take a look. Yep, they're coming along. We'll flip them one more time. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine this weekend, Willow Flocks has a great channel on YouTube. You should definitely check that out. Willow says, I'm really afraid to cook too much on my grill other than like hamburgers and hot dogs because it's intimidating. I said, none of this is intimidating. And the most important thing to remember is if you make a mistake, so what? It's not the end of the world if you make a mistake. It's perfectly okay. So the last minute or so, I'm going to leave the cover on, but I'm going to grab this one too. We'll let that one sit for a minute just to show the difference. The cover back on. Those guys should be fantastic. All right, let's see what Miss Kathy's looks like. That's about as medium as you can get, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, the unfortunate thing for us is we don't get to sample that. That's for her. Nope. Let me get a bowl to put hers in. Let me make sure we take care of her special. She's special to me, so I treat her right. Put that one aside. Now let's take a look at this one. This is one of the I think they were like a ribeye cut or something. I'm not exactly sure, but take a look at that. Once again, medium to medium rare. This one we do get to sample. Oh yeah. Phenomenal. What's the matter?
Wood. Little chew.
Little chew?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably got one of
Like
those
him.
ends. Still tastes good though, don't it?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see what we got here. This one I wanted to give a few extra minutes because that's at baseball. These are going to be done now. These are done. So we're going to pull everything off. Stack them up on the plate. I need more. That's all right. I'm not even going to let, these are the ones that we did the smoke first and the sear second. And we'll go, whoops, no, that was what we had there, right? Now I'm confused. This is one that we did the sear first, and we did not sample that one. I'm just looking for a reason to have another bite of steak. I'm going to move the potatoes in for the home stretch. I'm going to leave these guys on here for just a minute longer. Let's go take a look at this one. And again, we're cheating by cutting them right away. Look at that, just like butter. Medium rare. If I let this sit for a few more minutes, it's going to be medium, which is what everybody wants. So we'll put the rest of it over here. Give it a shot, see what you think. What can you say? It's not that hard. I didn't do anything fancy. I don't have a super $1,200 automatic grill. I'm doing it on a grill that you guys know if you've been at the channel for a while. I spent 50 bucks at this for this whole contraption at a church auction about 5 years ago. And I'm still cooking with it. It still does a fantastic job. I've cooked everything from corn on the cob to hot dogs to an entire 16-pound brisket on this grill. It can do anything. And if you can find one for a good used price like I did at a garage sale, well, you can't really go wrong. Let's take a look at the baseball. Now see, even this one that's super thick, that's a medium rare if I ever saw it. If you touch it, in fact, it's warm to the touch, but it's not hot. That's medium rare if I ever had it. And again, if we let it sit for 5 minutes like we're supposed to, but you know I don't have the patience for that either. That's a good piece of meat. Go ahead, have it. All different levels of cook. Everything's juicy. Everything's got an amazing flavor to it. We've gone from medium rare to well done on all the things we've cooked. And they can all be turning out perfect for the way you want them to. I gotta check these taters one more time. You know, I like going to the Texas Roadhouse because they are one of the few restaurants around here that actually does steak right. And you think, yeah, but they're a chain, man. How are they going to do so many things right? Well, they do. The best part about it is Monday through Thursday at 6 o'clock, 4 to 6, excuse me. You get the early bird special for old people like me. $12.99, I get a steak and 2 sides. And their steaks are cooked well. But these are right up there with them. Now, we're not a New York steakhouse, obviously. I need a glove. Where did I put my gloves? There they are. Going in my hand. We're not a New York strip steakhouse. We're not serving you Wagyu beef that costs $500 a pound or whatever it is. But if you want to have reasonably budgeted food and have it taste good, we got you covered right here. Those potatoes are done. They're starting to fall apart. The rosemary, garlic, and butter gonna do us right, guys. All right, that's it. It's time to eat. Thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate you sticking around and bearing with me as I tried to talk through too much time. Please like, share, subscribe, ring a ding the bell notification, as I said before. Comment below. Let us know what you think of these steaks, or if you make steaks a different way, let us know how you do it. Maybe we'll feature that way in a video someday. These are the way I like to do it, and they turn out right for us. Till next time, gang, We kicked the whole stack of meat.